My colleague, Congressman Ryan.
Thank you, Seth, and thank you to all my colleagues here. All of us took an oath. We raised our right hand. We said we would give our life for this country that we love so deeply. And undergirding that willingness to take that oath is trust. Trust. Trust that our country that we love, that we worship, would do right by us, would only send us and our brothers and sisters in arms to war if we absolutely had to, if we had no other choice, if we had exhausted all options. Importantly, if we had discussed it with the American people as our founders and framers intended and wrote and articulated explicitly in our Constitution. We all did that. I'll speak for myself. I would do it again every single day. But only if that trust is maintained. And that trust has been fundamentally broken by this administration with this action in Venezuela and with other ones before, but I think this one is particularly egregious. And many of us just left a briefing where certainly the trust deficit was only added to, deeply added to, by a refusal to answer any substantive questions, running out the clock on members, many of whom served in uniform, all of whom, on behalf of their constituents, deserve to ask good faith questions. The dual-hatted Secretary of State and National Security Advisor shrugged his shoulders when asked repeatedly, how much did this cost? And literally joked about it. This is not a joking matter. It's not a joking matter to those 7 incredibly heroic and brave Americans who were wounded in this action. And by the way, speaking of trust and lack of trust, that wasn't even disclosed until yesterday. Right before Christmas, all of us went into that same room. Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth lied to our faces. More importantly, they lied to the American people who we proudly represent. They told us the goal was not regime change. They told us there would be no land attacks. They told us they would come to Congress before doing so because they also understand, or pretended anyway, to understand our Constitution. As I said, they didn't even tell us for days that there were American casualties, 2 of whom are still recovering in the hospital, and thank God we were just told we'll be okay. Frankly, the only moment of honesty in all this so far has been when Donald Trump that morning said, this is about oil. And I think he said it 12 plus times and has continued to say it. And then when he at least was willing to say what Rubio and others have tried to cover up and obfuscate, which is we're going to quote unquote run this country. Again, none of the questions about what that looks like were answered by Secretary Rubio in the briefing we just came out of. Frankly, I think the only people who are getting the truth here, and the president confirmed this on Air Force One the other night, are the oil executives who stand to make record-breaking profits. And having fought in a war for oil, I refuse to allow that to happen again. We already spent $7 trillion plus on 2 forever wars that never should have been started in the first place. And the choice now before us is, do we want to send more of our blood and treasure, our most precious resources, our young men and women, into a country that is a mess and has been a mess? Or the 6 others, by the way, that the president and his advisors have named and tweeted about? Or do we actually want to invest in the American people? Do we want to get health care for everyone? Do we want to get infrastructure that works? Do we want a better education system? Do we want to lower costs of housing and gas and groceries and everything else, which is the mandate of this administration? That's what we are all about. We're about stopping and ending forever wars and lowering costs for our constituents. We will not allow them to continue to lie to the American people. We'll hold them to account, and I'm so proud to stand with my colleagues here who will continue to speak up and not let them lie to us and, more importantly, to the American people. It is my honor now is Mike here? Mike Thompson? No, okay. I think he's on the way. My honor now to invite up